In this video, we are going to see how we go from this boring image of a transparent glass into this amazing, at least in my opinion, image of a glass with some frozen pattern on it. First, we are going to start with a very basic workflow. We have our model loader here, and I'm using Juggernaut XL, which is an SDXL model. You will see later why that's very important. Then we have our positive and negative prompt, our sampler, the VAE decode, and the save image. You know what? Actually, I'm going to use an image preview instead of saving the image. Okay, so we are ready. We can cue the prompt and see what we get. Oh, before queuing the prompt, maybe we should add a prompt. So we are going to want to generate a transparent mug. So it should be generating something. As expected, we get an image of a mug. I think we can all agree that this is not very impressive or special. So to make it a little bit more interesting, we can use a LoRa. So the LoRa we are going to use today is the SDXL frosted LoRa. You can find it on CVTI. So I've already downloaded the LoRa and added it in the LoRa folder in my ComfyUI installation. So in order to apply it, we have to use the load LoRa node. So load LoRa, I can just search for LoRa actually. Yeah, LoRa loader, sorry, LoRa loader. And this node goes between the base model and the rest of the nodes. So I'm going to redirect the model from the base model into the LoRa node and from the LoRa into the sampler. Same thing for the clip as well. And now we have a LoRa node sitting just after our model. And now if we cue the prompt, let's see what happens. The image has changed, but this is a little bit underwhelming based on the promise of that LoRa. So why is that? That's because when we use a LoRa, you might need to add some trigger words to your prompt. So here I'm just going to copy that trigger word from CVTI and put it in my prompt. So the trigger word here in this case is frosted style. So now let's cue the prompt again. And this time we do get a mug with some frozen pattern on it. One little point that I forgot to mention, I've used the node before, so my ComfyUI remembers which LoRa to pick. But if you have multiple LoRa, you might want to select the correct one here and just select it in your list before applying it. Something else to pay attention to is which model you are using. So here I'm using an SDXL base model. So if I'm using instead a stable diffusion 1.5 model, let's try Epic Realism. Oh, not the in-painting one. Epic Realism. Yeah, so let's try to generate the image with that model and see what we get. Okay, so as you can see here, this has nothing to do with a frozen mug. We even have some milk in there, so it's pretty much, yeah, not what I would expect to see. So that's because the LoRa I'm using is compatible with SDXL models. So whenever you use a LoRa, you have to pay attention to this parameter here, which base model this LoRa is compatible with. And of course, you can always play around with different models to get different results and outcome, as long as they are compatible with the LoRa you want to use. that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, feel free to go on my channel to see more content on how to use ComfyUI and generate amazing images.